Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about how to make chaga tea, chaga tincture, the benefits of chaga, and how to harvest it properly. Oh my gosh, look at this. Pretty cool, huh? So it grows on sick birch trees and it's trying to heal it. The other thing about it is that, like, you know, this is probably taken, who knows, 10 years to get to that point. So when you harvest it, you really want to just take just a piece of it and continue to let it grow. So environmental harvesting is encouraged with that. But usually, like, I can't even break it. You need, like, whoop, there's a piece, like a hacksaw and a hammer, and then like a big bag, because it does break off in pieces like this. So here's our chunk of chaga that I've had in storage with other chagas that I've harvested or have been given to me for about a year now. It's a dry, lightweight piece, and to prepare it properly, you need to be able to break it up with something, and I use this tool that I've had in my kitchen for many years. So ideally, you want to cover it up so that you don't bash it all over the place, and the towel will hold the pieces in as you break it up. So let's give it a go. And in doing that, you can see that the chaga breaks up into these kind of inch-ish size. And ideally, you want to go a little bit smaller than this guy here. We don't need to use it though. We can use these chunks and make them even a little bit more exposed on the inside. So one or two more hammers here. For each piece. And there it is, the product I'm looking for. From here, you can use all the small particles as well. And lots of other herbalists will break these up even smaller. What I'm using this for today, I don't need to go into these real dusty fine particles. So next, we can toss away the pieces we don't need to use right now. And I like using this little teapot. It has a strainer in it and holds most of your herbal matter, in this case chaga, right in there, and it's easy to remove out of the tea water that we're going to make. Makes it really simple. All right, let's fill it up with some water. Bring the water to a boil, then reduce heat to a simmer, and remove the lid to allow the tea to reduce to about half the water content. Okay, so the next step after reducing the water, the tea water that we made of the chaga, is to then take the size jar that you want. In this case, I'm looking to make a small tincture, so I'm using a small jar, and we're going to pour approximately half of the jar full of the concentrated chaga water. or Chaga tea. And it's as simple as this, taking an 80 proof vodka is what my preference is, and filling the rest of the jar, the other half, with the vodka. And I do like to have a little bit of the chunks from the original tea. So I'll scoop those out of there. I left a little space so we could fill up the jar with a little bit of the actual matter of the chaga. And that allows the tincture, the vodka, to pull more elements of the nutrients and the minerals and all the good stuff that chaga offers to your health. So leave that in there, and really you want to just kind of shake it every once in a while. This is just a fast way to make a tincture without having to spend, I don't know, anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks of what it normally takes to make tinctures out of medicinal herbs. So there you go. Next step is put a label on it, but you're gonna have to wait till it cools off. Label it chaga tincture, put the date, and you'll be ready to go. You will want to store the tincture for 1 week in a cool, dark space, shaking it once a day before you use it. Also, the vodka will act as a preservative and can last up to 10 years. So with the leftover water, you can then use that as your tea. And you can see how rich and dark this tea is. Some people prefer it in place of coffee in the morning. I prefer, personally, a little bit of honey with my chaga tea. It has a very mild, earthy taste to it. And so just a touch of honey for me just takes that earthy edge down a little bit, sweetens it up. It's great with milks or creamers or almond milk, whatever you prefer. I don't need that in there, but do what you please. Final step in making a tincture. I like to give away my tinctures for gifts for my family and friends. Having a nice small little funnel like this works really well with these tincture bottles. They have a little squirty thing there so that you can just easily squirt that into your mouth, or put it in tea or coffee in the morning if you want to add a little tincture, but it does have the vodka in it, so you got to keep that in mind. So what you do is you just pour it in and fill the bottle, and after you fill the bottle, you put the lid on, label it chaga tincture. Chaga is the king of mushrooms, and you can find it located in birch populated hardwood forests throughout northern climate zone. It's also extremely nutrient dense superfood. It is an ancient herbal medicinal. So things that chaga mushroom supports are your immune function. It has 0 toxic compounds. There is no dose limit, so you can't overdose on it, which is nice. It's also known as a very potent cancer fighter. It slows down the aging process, which is great news. It also lowers your blood pressure, your blood sugar, and fights inflammation. So there's a lot of great benefits. Those are just some of the benefits, actually. There's a lot more, and you can look that up on the web or in some really great books. Let's talk about proper harvesting. The best time to harvest chaga is in the fall, after the sap runs. And you can also do it throughout the winter, but you just want to make sure you do it before the sap runs again in the spring. Bring a hatchet and a bag to obviously collect the pieces. And you just want to take the external pieces and not cut into the tree. Because as soon as you cut into the tree, and remove all the chaga, which is not recommended, you will end up starting the process of the tree dying. So you're literally killing a tree. So please just take what you need. Like a handful of chaga will last you a really long time. And you also want to let it dry so that it is lightweight when you hold it in your hand and it's ready to start being used. You can actually use just 3 small chunks that will last you about a month. And you can keep using these 3 chunks over and over again in hot water until the water turns clear. So that'll give you like 10 plus teapots full of tea. You can also then take those chunks and put them in 80 proof alcohol in a tincture bottle, fill the bottle up with the alcohol and the chunks, and put it in a cool, dark place. This is where a tincture, you're going to want it to extract the goods with the alcohol for about 6 to 8 weeks, and give it a little shake here and there every other day throughout that time period. And that's another way to extract and have a preserved tincture of chaga. Well, thank you very much. I hope you learned something. And if you have any questions, you can certainly email me at christinemckim, intuitivehealing@gmail.com.